Erev Tov, good evening and Masa al Khair. My name is Inon Kehati. I'm Israeli, Jewish, secular. My background is basically coming from a Tel Avivian family. I was never involved in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, others being a spectator from the side, kind of watching from a distance what's going on in the land. I was growing in a family that is from Ashkenazi European descendants. My grandfather lost 11 brothers and sisters in the Holocaust, and my mother's family is from a Yemenite descendants. We find this thing about identity, about East and West, as something that's very unique and very important to understand the identity of our people, that is basically a mix of East and West. We basically live in the Middle East, but we are representing something too Western. But as for my identity, I was serving in the IDF very proudly. It was one of my best experiences in life. And I remember in the days of the Second Intifada, the height of the Second Intifada, for me, each and every Palestinian and Muslims was considered to be not human. All of them were terrorists. You know, just mentioning the name Ramallah was lynch for me, and as for many Israelis. And you will understand shortly how this thing changed, but again, from being an outsider and viewing the conflict from a distance, I learned that the reality is much more complex. The reality is a big picture, that some of us focus on the bad, some of us focus on the good. From here to there, I will take you to my personal journey. I basically came back to Israel after being in Las Vegas for about 8 months. And I came back just in the height of the Gaza war, Operation Tzuk Eitan. And it was seemed to me that the conflict is going from a conflict of land and territory to a conflict of religion, something very dangerous. And I remember that symbolically the murder of the 3 boys, Eyal, Naftali, and Gilad, and after that the murder of 1 Palestinian boy by 3 of our boys, as did something emotionally that says something is terribly wrong here. And then Yehuda Glick, that inspired me after he was the attempt on his life, I was thinking, how can I think outside of the box and think differently and try to maybe influence our conflict? How can I think different in a way that is, again, outside of the box? So I basically wrote a post speaking about how Jews and non-Jews can pray together on Har HaBayit, Haram HaSharif, Temple Mount. And after this post, I met my first Palestinian friend. And after a process of brainstorming, we took theory into practice. We met a lot of people during the last 2 years, Palestinians and Israelis. And I understood also regarding identity that we Jews do not understand our role in this land. I mean, we are viewing Tel Aviv and Netanya and Haifa as the main essence of our story. No, we should view Ariel and Beitel and especially Jerusalem as our main land, as our main cradle of civilization. And this is something that a lot of seculars do not understand, at least what I see. And this is something I give a lot of credit to the Palestinian people, because they view all of the land as Palestine. And therefore, we should view all of the land as Eretz Israel. But we need to view it together. We need to realize that none of us are going anywhere. So from here to there, the Home NGO started. And the Home NGO, I'm the founder and chairman of this organization, which is a grassroots movement conceived by Palestinian refugees, Judeans, not settlers. It's a terminology that's very problematic. Secular Israelis, Muslims, Christians, people that believe in God, people that don't believe in God, people that believe in spaghetti. It's all good. But the idea is that we take a lot of opinions and a lot of identities and we combine something together. We combine basically in a evolving process principles that everyone can relate to from the bottom. Because we also believe that this conflict was tried to be solved from above, from the top, from the political level. Not to mention the Western interference in our conflict that basically made this conflict last for 23 years, because people that basically live 10,000 kilometers away do not understand our identity, both of the people here, whether it's Palestinians or Jews. Now the thing is, you guys here in Ariel, you should be in the front line. You should be the ones that go to conversations with Palestinians. You represent basically, as I believe, the authentic Jewish identity. But you need also to understand that the people that live here that are not Jews also are part of the land. And they should be also provided with rights all over the land, like us. And we talk about situation that in the ideal situation, of course with certain terms and conditions, we should share the land together and to see the whole land as our home. And this is why our mission statement basically of the Home NGO is that we are an organization that believes in the joint creation of ideology, social action, and political transformation that will provide all the people, all the inhabitants of the land from wherever culture or identity they are, with the feeling of security, dignity, and the freedom of home. This is basically the idea. Now, what we do as an evolutionary ongoing process, we have a lot of people that are joining in. We do activities that are social. We have no money at all in the Home NGO. And we also do a project called Cleaning the Hate, where we take Jews and Palestinians to clean the land together as an act of goodwill to the land, of love to the land, and also treat the land as it's supposed to be treated, as holy, something that connects, should connect both of us. Now, I also have some ahas from my experience in this activity. And one of the experiences that, of the aha moments that really affected me is the thing about opinions. Those that basically boycott someone else because they have a different opinion, they have a weakness in their own perception. And this is something we should all remember. If you have confident identity, if you know where you're coming from, if you know where to go also, you will not be afraid to talk or meet with anyone that have different opinion than you. And this is what happens with the BDS nowadays. So we should remember that as well. And one more thing, if we will not do this kind of conferences in Bethlehem and in Ramallah and in Gaza, there's not going to be peace. And this opportunity to say these things here in Ariel is a very, very courageous thing. And I hope that the door will be open also for non-Jews and Palestinians that live their struggle, people that really do not necessarily love us or recognize us. But if you have the stage and you have something to say, you should come to the stage and say it. We need to combine in this process not only rationality, not only political thinking. We need to combine a lot of humanity and a lot of spirit, because this conflict is not about land. This conflict is about ideology and religion. And if we will solve these issues, we can generate a very, very unique light in the world. This is what I believe. I hope that one day we'll have hundreds of people cleaning together the land and have some, to give some hope and humanity, to show that the Gazan is a human, the settler from Beitel is a human. Sorry, Judean, my bad. I kind of forget sometimes. The Israeli from Tel Aviv is a human. And to understand that without looking at each other as equals, we'll not solve this conflict. We need to begin from the bottom when where the cigarette butt is usually found. And I will finish by quoting Rabbi Cook, who said, and I'm not going to be accurate because nothing is perfect, you know, but God, Allah, Hashem, But Rabbi Cook says basically that some people mistake the idea that peace in our world is that everyone will believe the same, think the same, and act the same. But on the contrary, when people with different ideas, with different opinions and beliefs can coexist in the same frame and still be together with and everyone knows their position and where they function in the big picture, and the proliferation, I think, of ideas, this is basically where true peace is. Thank you very much.